Thank you, Pablo, and good afternoon, everyone, from my side, and welcome to this ALICE webinar on insights, perspectives, and results from Intermodal Transport Survey and the Resilient Transport Networks projects. My name is Fernando Liesa. For those ones who know me, I'm the Secretary General of ALICE, the European Technology Platform on Logistics. Most of you are ALICE members, but I have seen a few that are not, and yes, for those, ALICE brings together industry, logistics service providers, shippers, infrastructure managers, technology providers, research organizations, and public authorities to accelerate the transition towards efficient, low emission, and resilient logistics systems in Europe. This is one of our activities. You will see later the broad scope of ALICE. And today's webinar focuses on this intermodality and resilience, two topics that are increasingly strategic for competitiveness, sustainability, and security of supply. So intermodality is often discussed mainly in terms of decarbonization, and rightly so. In ALICE, this has been a central pillar since our zero emission roadmap published in 2019. And actually, when we exchange with our members, particularly shippers, this is the key lever for decarbonization towards 2030. But the value of intermodality clearly goes beyond emissions reduction. First, energy consumption, it's very important. And as you may have noticed, road transport, it's somehow connected to that. And in terms of energy consumption, road transport typically consumes 3 to 4 times more energy per ton kilometer than rail. So this is an important element going forward when we look into sustainability from an economical point of view as well. And then in that sense, intermodality solutions then tend to offer higher price stability and reduce exposure to oil price volatility that we are suffering these days. So those ones that were relying on cheaper road transport, now they are suffering a lot because of the increase of road transport prices. Third, in terms of resilience, there are some elements that are and may constrain road transportation, like driver shortage, pressure on road decarbonization, and the dependency on fossil fuels. That also the risk that intermodal systems are risk that intermodal systems can help mitigate, even though they are also intermodality is more exposed to climate disruptions, as we will hear today later. So this is exactly the combined perspective we want to explore today about multimodality, intermodality, and resilience. So to put the webinar in the broad perspective of ALICE, the webinar sits within a much broader ALICE ecosystem. ALICE connects themes, activity fields, communities, and EU-funded projects supporting new project generation, innovation uptake, knowledge management, policy influence, and implementation support. Intermodality and resilience are cross-cutting priorities, linking work on rail freight, corridors and hubs, synchromodality, automation, data sharing, and digitalization, all those addressed by ALICE programs. In today's webinar program, Paola Chiarini will provide insights on the EU policy context, including how intermodality, resilience, and competitiveness are reflected in current policy priorities and coming EU calls for projects, both areas we definitely follow very closely in ALICE as well. Then Sergei Shanshula will then walk us through the report developed on in-transit time and on-time delivery in intermodal transport. This has been done in the frame of thematic group 4 on supply network coordination and collaboration on increase the use of rail. And he will provide evidence-based insights on performance and reliability of intermodal services and the root cause of some problems. Last but not least, Pablo Segura will share highlights from two closely related to Horizon projects, Remunet and Saril, both addressing key challenges around the resilient and efficient intermodal transport. So with this, you will have some hints of the work we are doing, but beyond today's presentation, this topic is also strongly connected to other ALICE activities, such as ALICE Express, that it's actually trying to scale up and implement intermodal solutions in practice, ongoing projects like Ikigai, and also already finished projects like Crystal and Multi-Reload. So the objective is to connect industry, policy research, and real operational evidence, and to support concrete deployment and collaboration across the logistics ecosystem. Last but not least, I would also like to make you part of this journey, and this is a call of action, so then you can also share your use cases that could be in the spotlight in next activities. So then a key message I want to emphasize is the importance of the operational evidence, and that for that Alice actively invites you to share real use cases, pilots, proof of concepts, also challenges if you are shippers that can be addressed by our community, and what worked, what didn't work, and if you know why. Otherwise, we can also open this to our community to identify the why. Short structure and evidence-based submissions are particularly valuable, and both members and non-members can contribute as long as the cases are factual, traceable, and focus on operational experience rather than marketing or very academic concepts. These use cases can fit future Alice webinars, workshops, matchmaking activities, and EU-level discussions. So you can submit by scanning the QR code that you see in the slide, but also contacting the Secretariat email. So with this context, I am very pleased to hand over for today's speakers, who will present concrete insights from the Intermodal Transport Survey, resilient focus projects, and policy framework. And I encourage you to actively engage in the discussion so that you can put your questions, comments in the chat and take advantage of the collective expertise gathered here today, not only by the speakers, but also the participants that are quite a lot and with quite a lot of experience. So don't hesitate to use the chat for also engaging in discussion around the topic. So from my end, thank you very much, and let us co-create the future of intermodal and resilient logistics.